Now that you've seen the use of color in visuals, let's look at a few additional encodings. Sometimes you'll need additional encodings to distinguish data in a visual. For these cases, you might want to use different encodings such as shape or size. In a scatter plot, we might change the size or shape of the markers. In this video, you will learn about some additional encodings. When you're making scatter plots, you're representing the data with dots, or maybe some other symbol. Here, we are comparing the average SAT scores for students at different universities. Each point is the information of a single university. Right now, the visual encoding of the data is all positional, only using the X and Y axes. If these are the only two columns we want to encode, I can't imagine a visual that paints the relationship in a more clear way. However, we could introduce additional encodings to show additional features in our dataset. Say whether the school is private or public. Now imagine we also want to understand the student-faculty ratios associated with each school. We will need another encoding. Even though we get a lot of information from the marker size, it's not a very accurate representation. It can also be ambiguous as to how the size should be interpreted. Should the viewer be comparing the diameter of the marker or the area? Data can also be encoded using different shapes, but we don't encode quantitative data with shapes, as we'd probably run out of the number of shapes to encode our values. You would instead need to change your data to a categorical ordinal variable. And encoding quantitative data with color can be confusing. Look at this example. The shapes are not as great as color for differentiating the schools. And the colors here are hardly an indicator of all the different student-faculty ratios. In general, color and shape are best used for categorical variables, while the size of the marker can assist in adding additional quantitative data, as we demonstrated here. I personally try to avoid these types of encodings if possible, but sometimes these additional codings are necessary. If you start to lose the message, consider breaking your visual into more visuals that each conveys its own direct message.